He has gained about 50 pounds since we've been together. And it is all in his stomach. All in his stomach. He's got real thin legs. His arms aren't big. It's all in his stomach. And he's so miserable. So I made the decision that we were going to go on a low carbohydrate diet. And that's what we've done. We started last Wednesday. Actually, I started a couple days earlier, but that was only because I could. I say that because we don't eat that much. So what I'm doing is I'm restricting my carbohydrates to the point where I'm in ketosis, which means your body is burning fat. And I went into ketosis so quick, I couldn't even believe it. Now, before I get a bunch of haters into telling me, you know, ketosis is a terrible thing, you shouldn't do that, blah, blah, blah. Well, there's a difference between ketosis and ketoacidosis. And it has already been proven, especially with people like us who have to restrict our carbs, that getting your body into ketosis so you can start burning that extra fat is a good thing. I'm not saying I want to be in ketosis for the next 20 years or even the next 6 months, but the point is I wanted us to get in a real good low carbohydrate level to see where we need to be, where we can add the carbs, good carbs from fruit and vegetables and whole wheats. Because restricting your carbs, I don't believe is a good thing for lifetime. Keeping your carbohydrate intake under control, you're not going to know how many carbohydrates you can take until you restrict them to a point where you are in ketosis. And then start every week, say next week I'll add 5 grams of carbohydrates. So instead of 20, I'll be 25. And I'll do this every week until I see how many grams it takes me to throw me out of ketosis. Then I'll know what this body can handle. Now, before I start getting a bunch of hate mail about being in ketosis, let me read this really quick because I wanted to put this out there in case any of you didn't know and have always heard that being in ketosis is a bad thing. The question is, what is the difference between being in ketosis and ketoacidosis? Although it may sound like they mean the same, there's a big difference between ketosis and ketoacidosis. Still, these two terms are often confused with each other. Aside from processing the same root word, the misunderstanding is likely due to the fact that ketosis and ketoacidosis are both metabolic processes that involve the breakdown of fats in the body. However, ketosis is a normal metabolic function. Ketoacidosis, on the other hand, is a life-threatening medical condition of particular concern to those with diabetes type 1, not type 2, type 1. Ketoacidosis is a state of toxicity in which there are elevated levels of acids called ketones in the blood. This condition occurs when insulin levels are too low and the liver attempts to restore energy by metabolizing fats and proteins due to lack of available carbohydrates. Since ketone acids slowly degrade into acetone, the breath often smells fruity or similar to nail polish remover. Without immediate medical attention, this condition can induce a diabetic coma and possibly death. Now, ketosis also occurs as the result of the liver burning fat for energy and producing ketone acids as a byproduct. However, this state is often facilitated by the intentional withdrawal of carbohydrates as a primary fuel source in favor of ketones. In fact, many members of the medical community refer to diet-induced ketosis as an actual will of starvation. If a low-carbohydrate, high-protein diet sounds familiar, it's because this is the basis of a very popular weight loss program known as the Atkins diet. Also South Beach diet, and there's some other diets out there. Such diets call for 30 to 50% of the total calorie intake to come from protein in order to kick the metabolism into gear to burn fat. So that lays aside what the difference between ketone and ketone acidosis is. My mother was just diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and she freaked. My mother is extremely healthy. She's 77 years old and has never had to take any medication at all for any reason. Or she has diverticulosis, which is an intestinal issue, but other than that, she's never had to take any drugs for diabetes or heart or blood pressure, any of that kind of stuff. So when her doctor told her she was bordering on that type 2 diabetic and she was officially diagnosed, my mother went into gear. And she called me because she knew I knew a lot about carbohydrates, because my mother was put on a low carbohydrate diet. So right now, my mom and my father, who's been a diabetic for quite some time, my husband and myself are all working towards this lower carb diet. So what I'm asking my YouTube community is to support me, hold my hand, give me the encouragement that you gave me 2 years ago to help me lose this last 20 pounds. I bought some size 10 pants 2 years ago and I've never been able to wear them, and I want to get into those pants this winter. So I'm asking all of you your help again, and I have officially, as of today, got caught up on all the videos. I've met so many YouTubers that are on this journey, that are just starting, that are, you know, anywhere between 1 and 6 months out and a year out. I've met so many, and I've subscribed to so many, and I've gotten a lot more subscriptions on my end that have subscribed to me, and I really want to thank all of you who are subscribing to me and following my journey, because our journeys are never over. We're going to go from getting right out of surgery and taking baby steps and stumbling and challenges and all these kinds of things, to maintenance, to just living and learning how to live with those rules always. And I know for me it's still a struggle. It's going to continue being a struggle, and I need as much help as I possibly can get, and I'm reaching out to all of you. We've got 11 people that have joined me in the Weight Loss Surgery Walking Buddies, and I'm so excited about that. 2 years ago, we started out with just 3 or 4 people, and we've got 11 in 1 week, and that's so exciting to me. And I know out of these 11 people, 2 or 3 are going to be running marathons in a year. I guarantee it. That's what happened to the first group. There's a ton of people out there running. There's a ton that went from walking, 1,000, 2,000 steps a day to doing couch to 5Ks, that are running marathons, that are in triathlons. It is so exciting to see these people blossom and continue to work every single day towards their goals. There's no end to it. So I hope that I've touched some people, that you learn from our mistakes, and that's the whole reason for recording our journey, is to help those behind us, those in front of us, and those alongside of us, from now, back then, and from time to come. I don't know, but I'm here to stay. Bye, YouTubers.